What is going on, everybody? Hey, welcome to episode 8 of the Realty Life podcast. I am your host extraordinaire, Adam Kidd, the singing realtor, and my guest host and partner in crime,
the real estate doctor. Yo, it's funny because that's the moniker I'm using. Is that the right word? Moniker? But I wore white last week, and I swear it's a different shirt. This is
okay. Well, listen,
I have more than one white shirt.
You wouldn't be the first guy to wear the same shirt 2 weeks in a row.
And I know for anyone who's been following, I wanted to clarify that I'm not doing the same thing that you did. In fact, I would actually run across the street and buy another shirt if they were open, if I needed to. Hey, man. Stuff's crazy.
It's crazy. So the title of the show today, the sky is falling, right? And
it may not be.
It really, I don't know, but there is a lot of chaos out there. So we went from one chaotic pandemic world scared about everything to riots everywhere. And listen, I don't know. It's kind of scary, but there's a lot of people that are finding calm or being calm through this chaos, through the storm. And I personally, hold on. Yeah.
I'm calm. I'm just one of those guys. I'm just saying I'm calm. It's okay to be calm.
I agree. No, big shout out to the Fresno State branch of the NAACP. Honestly, they put together an amazing, controlled, peaceful protest. And listen, they need to protest. There's a lot of stuff going on that's wrong in this world, and it needs to get fixed. So I applaud their efforts, and I really hope for a resolution and some big change.
Protesting has been an effective way of communicating, things that are civilly unacceptable to our populace for a long, long time. It's also been a method of creating a lot of chaos also. So if you're going to do it,
well,
be committed to the peaceful resolution.
As in a lot of things, we have a handful of bad apples that are ruining the bunch, right? And you have fantastic efforts made by groups like the Fresno State chapter of the NAACP successfully. And honestly, not only them, but a big shout out to our police department, the city officials. From what I heard, I wasn't there personally, but I had friends that said, look, food was provided for these protesters.
Wow.
The police provided a venue and the sound system and the stage for the protest to take place. I heard on the radio, lots of our local police leadership totally against everything that took place that caused this whole thing to go down, and they're in favor of their peaceful protest. So they did their part to help it out. I've really been impressed with what's happening here locally. But man, there's some nasty stuff going on out there.
Yeah, it's I graduated from the police academy here in Fresno in 1991. And it was something I thought I wanted to do, but I was very young. But I understand the challenges that law enforcement has and how tense that job can be. I was trying to explain this to a friend the other day, and it's in no way saying that this is okay in any way, shape, or form. This behavior is wrong. And I tell you what, yes, 99% of people out there, and they will say it is too. Taking care of your fellow officers and protecting people is one thing, and protecting yourself is one thing. but what happened here is clearly a travesty. It's not what the justice system's meant to be.
Absolutely.
You know?
Hey, listen, if you're out there listening to the show and you have anything you'd like to contribute regarding this, we prefer to focus on the positive.
Yeah.
And if you found any really amazing stories you can share with us that we can share, or you can join on Facebook or on our YouTube channel, give us some really good stuff we can talk about, spread the word. The more good we can point out in this world, the better. And that's what we're all about.
This is a great part of the show for me. I really like just the conversational aspect of the things that happen in our lives outside of real estate. And that's why it's a realty life, right? So I enjoy talking about these other, and that's a great segue for me, because one of the things that I've talked to you about many times over the last 6 or 8 weeks is goes hand in hand with our attitude. We want to be positive. We want to talk about the good things that are happening. If we sit there and focus on negative stuff, or look for problems, we'll find it all day long, every time. And but the divisive behavior that's out there, I think when things are as intense as they have been ever since we got locked down in our own homes, right? Which there's a lot of questions as is that even right? Was that even legal or constitutionally right? At the end of the day, it's probably morally right, because we are trying to affect and control this runaway disease. But that divisive attitude on both sides, calling each other names when things are already tense and intense, and there's no sign of it, right? And then this stuff happens.
Yeah,
man, people, we gotta calm down. Everyone needs to calm down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And try and look at your neighbor, no matter if they're Republican or Democrat or white or black or whatever, and treat each other like human beings, right?
Yep. Hey, listen, so not to get too religious on y'all, but I'm a Christian and I read the Bible. And in the book of Galatians in the New Testament, there's a verse that says, "Do good unto all men, especially those of the household of faith," right? So God wants us to take care of our other Christian brothers and sisters, but he also wants us to do good to everybody. And, we could use a whole lot more of that in this world. That's for sure.
Yeah. That being said, we neglected to introduce our fine guest that's coming up today.
I know. So we're super excited. In just a couple
Thanks for letting us talk, people. And I listen, hope it resonates with you, and it's all coming from a good place for us, from us, and we hope it inspires people to be good.
Yeah, absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. Hey, let's find some Zen. What do you think?
Oh, that's better. That's nice. From chaos to Zen.
Right.
I'm gonna choke down some vitamins.
Oh, good time to do it right during the middle of the show. Listen, folks, take your vitamins.
It's got to happen, or else I forget, and then it turns into late in the day, and then I can't. All right, it's a whole thing.
So yeah, we're super excited to have one of our good friends, Jonathan Bray, joining us on the show today. Jonathan is a premier home inspector. Now, for those of you who've done any real estate transactions in the past, you probably already know how important it is for a home inspection to take place. So we figured we wanted to bring Jonathan Bray on here. He's boots on the ground. He is an expert. He came out of the home building environment, construction environment. So he has a huge amount of knowledge about how homes are built, how they operate, how they work, what all the functions and features of homes are. And when you're buying a home, the biggest expenditure of your life, most likely, you need to make sure you know what's going on. So
and that's the point of the home inspection. And he covers he's going to tell us. I think it's 150 points in his home inspection? It's fantastic.
Well, let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jonathan Bray.
There it is. Look at him go.
The man.
Look at that beautiful beard. He's out there working hard.
Hey, Sunshine.
You handsome son of a gun.
Can you hear us, Jonathan?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I said hi, Sunshine.
Hi, Sunshine.
Were you talking to me?
Sunshine.
You're talking to me.
I'm gonna say hi, Sunshine, and hi, Rain. I was trying to think. It's gonna be Sunshine and Rainbow. Hi, Sunshine. Hi, Rainbow.
Yeah.
I'll go with Sunshine.
No, I'm Sunshine.
No. Look at you with all those colored colors on your thing. You're
Hey,
everyone. Barry Fisher's joining us, chiming in with absolutely nothing of quality to say.
Disregard.
Anyways, Jonathan Bray, you are a home inspector, certified and certifiable.
Yes. 100%.
And we love that about you.
Hey,
Absolutely.
You were looking for positive stories.
Yes, sir.
Sure, absolutely.
So I'm building a brick wall at my house, and this weekend I found some free bricks on the corner of I think it was Blackstone and Shaw. That's the free. I mean, everyone likes free, right?
Yes.
It's my favorite number.
Did you help?
Jeez, man.
Did you help the community by taking those bricks away?
I did. I did. I was trying to find.
Take every one of them.
My car was full. I couldn't take any. Sorry.
Oh man. Well, listen, that's just part of the problem right there. That you pointed out, you know, that people will go to the extent of doing that, dropping off loads of bricks for people with the intent that people will take those and throw them through the windows of a business in our community or any community. I can't think of anything more horrible other than killing babies and stuff, you know. But jeez, dirty, rotten scoundrels.
I can't figure a good thing out of it. That's for sure.
Yep, absolutely. So listen, Jonathan, before we diverge into all kinds of different topics, tell us a little bit about what a home inspection is and why are they so important?
Well, I typically explain to the easiest way to explain it to a buyer or anybody out there is that if you were looking to buy a used car and you wanted to take that car over to your buddy the mechanic and have him look at it for you and give you his professional opinion, that's what you would do. In the situation of a home inspection, when you're purchasing a home, I'm the mechanic, so I can come through and I can evaluate. A lot of people look at homes as far as, oh, it's pretty from the curb, it's pretty from the street, it looks good, it's got a nice paint job on it. But what you really, I mean, once you buy the house, you're beholden to whatever problems it has, right? I mean, you're inheriting whatever issues that house might have. And in my opinion, I think the best thing you could do is, spend a couple $100 and get someone like me. There's lots of good guys out there, but get someone to come through and look at it for you, because you want to find those, you want to find the issues, or at least be aware of them so that you can, plan for the future. No one's buying a perfect house. I've done inspections on brand new houses finished last week. The builder was just finishing up. They hadn't even come in and done the final prep yet. And I go through as a independent, unbiased professional inspector, and I come across stuff, and in that kind of a situation, it becomes a punch list for the builder, right? Because they're selling a brand new house, they're selling a quote unquote perfect house, and so my job is to come through and just give a professional opinion on the condition of the home, and then they can fix that and dial it in for the buyer. In the case of a used home or a pre-owned home, which 99+% of the inspections we do are for, you want to know what, a lot of times people live with things. They live with a leaky faucet. They live with a a loose toilet. They live with a situation where, oh, that's just always been that way. And as a buyer coming in, number one, you want to know what the condition is, but it's also fixable. And it's super easy. A lot of things are super easy to fix. And it's like, why
Right.
didn't you fix this a long time ago? Oh, we just learned to live with it. So as a buyer coming in, that's what we do, is we try and provide you with all the information we can about the house that we can discover, in an hour and a half, 2 hours while we're there, obviously.
Absolutely.
What are the more catastrophic things that you have found out there that buyers, right? Most of this is maintenance stuff, more or less. What are the more catastrophic things that are worrisome to buyers that they really need to be aware of?
Anything that's electrical conditions, electrical issues. Obviously, you have a leak, or you have a flood. If you have a leaky faucet or a leaky toilet, or a backing up, you can create a little bit of a flood, and you can cause some damage to some baseboard in the bottom of the walls, maybe some of the carpet, some of the flooring. If you have an electrical issue, you can burn the house down. I mean, one small spark inside of an outlet in a bedroom can burn the whole place down. So
Yeah.
that's probably the biggest issue, would be the electrical stuff. The the interesting thing, though, is one of the smallest things in a home that can potentially cause a great amount of damage, believe it or not, is a dirty air filter.
Wow.
If you've got a split system heating and air conditioning system, and you've got the condenser that is sitting outside on the backyard on a little concrete pad. Now, if you've got a dual pack unit up on your roof, it's not as much of a problem. You're not going to have an issue with it as well, because if it leaks, that's going to run out onto the roof, and you're going to have. But if you've got a split system where you've got a dirty air filter, what that does is it restricts the airflow through the system. You don't have air flowing over the evaporative coil, which is up inside the attic, inside of the furnace unit, and that's sort of like a radiator. Well, what happens if you don't have that water flowing across those coils? That thing's going to freeze up. It creates a big block of ice. When that ice thaws out, it's going to fill up the pan that's underneath it, the catch pan, and can potentially overflow. I've gotten numerous calls over the years, because I've done all this stuff, especially with property management companies and things. We got a call from the home or a renter that the ceiling collapsed in the hallway. It's just falling all over the floor. Well, the first thing I go in as an inspector, when I go to look at it to figure out what's going on, first thing I look at is their air filter. And 9 times out of 10, it's because of a clogged air filter. It's a $2 air filter. Just change it. And you don't have that problem. So it's just a little thing like that. And that's what I try and do as a home inspector. And I know a lot of the other home inspectors do as well. We try and educate people that are buying houses, especially first-time home buyers who've never bought a house before. They've lived in houses, but now it's different when you live in a house and you rent, right? Or versus owning your own home, because welcome to home ownership.
Right.
In a rental situation, you call the landlord. He sends out his maintenance guy. In a home ownership situation, you are the landlord. You're your own landlord. I see Adam shaking his head.
Yeah, no, I'm just agreeing with you. It's amazing as homeowners. I bought a house in 2017 that's a little older and needs some work, right? So there's a whole long list of things that we just kind of put up with, that moderately easy to fix, but you're right.
I think the biggest problem I've seen with people, we go through the home inspection, and it's very much, if you're not going to ask for it to be fixed right now, you're going to take on that responsibility, right? That you need to make that maintenance list, and remember, don't let it get out of sight, get out of mind.
Nope.
And air filters, I always say when someone buys a home, hey, this is one of those things you need to put on your phone. Change the sucker first of every third month, every fourth month. Make sure you're on it and change that and take that responsibility. Jonathan, tell me what your opinion is on sellers getting a home inspection.
Oh, I wouldn't. I wouldn't try and sell my house without getting a home inspection. And primarily because I know the business, I know the industry, and I know how everything works. So once you get your house on the market and you accept an offer from a buyer, that buyer's going to hire a home inspector. It may be me, it may be somebody else, but they're going to hire a home inspector. So um, I think the only concern about having a home inspection done in advance is, oh, it's going to bring to light all this stuff, that's wrong with my house, and I don't want to know about it. But the truth of the matter is, you're going to know about it. You're going to know about it eventually. So the best thing to do, in my opinion, is have someone like me or any of the other guys out there have us come to your house, go through and do a legitimate, verifiable home inspection. Check the stuff out. We're not tearing your house apart, not at all. We understand that these are pre-owned, used, lived-in houses. We're just going to point out some stuff, and then if we come across something major in that process, you can decide, hey, I'm going to go ahead and get that fixed, because when I put it on the market, I want to represent it, as a nice house. I don't want there to be any issues with, when we're during our escrow period and we're in our 17-day contingency period or whatever, and then all of a sudden this, ugly monster pops its head up, and you're like, oh, now we have to deal with it. It's way better to know about it before it even goes on the market, because then you can either decide to deal with it, you can disclose it, you can adjust your price so you're ready to negotiate and say, oh yeah, I knew that, I already knew that was there, ahead of time. The other thing, a lot of times for buyers, if they're out shopping for a house and they make an offer and all of a sudden there's a package comes across and it's already got a legitimate home inspection report attached to the documentation, I think that they can look through that and they can see not only just the visibility of the house, but they also see what items came up on the home inspection, and they can really make an educated offer, or they can make they have information right up front. I think it can shorten the contingency period in a lot of situations, and just speed the whole process up for everybody, because everything's being disclosed up front, and now we know about it. This is what it is. I know that there's some counties, there's over in the Bay Area. I mean, when you get an offer as a listing agent, you get an offer. That offer, that the agent making that offer is you've already sent them inspections, roof inspection, pest inspection, and you're accepting that offer, understanding that. So that's in this area, I think it's something we haven't done in the past, but a lot of, but it's something highly valuable.
When I came out here from Santa Cruz, that was something we did in our pre-listing. We would often get the home and pest inspection done, offer. It mitigates that back end negotiation after those inspections are done, because the people are already informed about it. So they're making their offer already aware of that, going into contract with them, that's more than likely not going to change unless another inspector comes in and finds additional stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We all have our own backgrounds. We all have our own. Now, I'm a little bit different in the sense that I've pretty much done it all. I've built houses, shopping center. I've done it all. So I have a pretty thorough background on this stuff. But the other thing is, I had an agent I worked with. They had me come in and do a pre-listing inspection, and then some of the items, not all the items, some of the items they corrected, and they got documentation from the licensed contractors they used to do it. Then they had me come back and do a second, like a re-inspection. And now I had an original report. The agent had all of the receipts showing the stuff that was done. Not all of it was done. The stuff that was done. And then a supplemental report showing the reflection of that. So to me, if you want to talk about a motivated seller, they're going to provide right? All three documents laying on the counter. They laid everything on the counter during the open house. Now, I know we're not doing actual open houses right now, but they put it on the counter during the open house, so people coming through could literally see, like, these sellers were on it. And that to me was, man, that really is something powerful. It speaks to the the motivation of the seller to sell the house, but also the willingness, the level they're willing to go to make sure it's a nice house. I mean,
well, listen, one of the reasons we really wanted to have you on was because we advise people all the time, and we tell them all of the things that we have found to be best practices for real estate, for finding their properties, for selling their properties, for marketing their properties, and for getting it ready to sell. And we recommend getting a home inspection ahead of time. But for whatever reason, we haven't caught on as a community yet to do that as part of our listing process,
Well, okay. All right. So let's just kick this off, right? So let's do this. So I don't know who all's listening, and I don't know what the audience is and all that, but I'm just gonna, let's say the next 5 pre-listing home inspections before you go live with a house. Let's just do a free pre-listing inspection, and
Wow.
and sort of try and get that done and get that off the ground here in the Fresno Clovis area.
Let's do it. Awesome. Sounds great. Sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Bray, he is our home inspector. In fact, I don't think we've used anybody else in quite some time, because he does. One of the things I love about John is your reports are easy to read. And I do recommend the client be there, because it's nice. Jonathan will sit and have a conversation with you about the findings, kind of give you a good feel for it without you having to. It's a little bit different when you read, hey, there was water damage here, and versus you saying, listen, there's water damage there. It's clearly been a long time ago, and you can kind of walk them through it. So we love that about that. Jonathan, thanks so much for taking the time and hanging out with us today. Appreciate your information, my man.
Thanks for being on the show, Jonathan. We will talk to you soon.
All right,
buddy.
Thanks.
Talk to you soon.
All right, you good.
Jonathan Bray, the man.
Absolutely. So listen, everybody, I don't know if you heard that or not. We're now offering a special. The next 5 customers who list their home with us, you're going to get a free home inspection. From
Pre-listing home inspection.
Pre-listing home inspection.
Adam and I always do a walkthrough with you anyway, but this is going to be a little bit better. And then you're going to know what's up, and if you want to do anything about it in advance.
Absolutely.
Like my friend, the owner at on Warner, he is very proactive and did some minor repairs. There was a door jamb that was a little messed up. There was a light fixture that was a little messed up. There was a doorknob that was a little. These are small things that you can mitigate and take care of in advance. So Warner is on the market. We are still showing, but remember, it's tenant occupied, so we do need 24-hour notice. That being said, our property on Fairmead, if you were thinking about writing an offer on this, if you've seen it or you've seen it online and you're thinking about, we have an offer in, and we're waiting, we're in negotiations on this. So if you want to draft an offer, today's the day to do it.
Yep.
As well as on Williamsburg, in Gilroy, we do have an offer. It has not been presented, just came in when we started the show. And so anybody who's ready to draft an offer on Williamsburg, please get it in. All right, you got probably 24 hours to get that paper to us. What else is going on, buddy?
Well, we have our listing on Stafford. It's a fantastic rental opportunity for somebody who wants to buy and hold with really good rental income. It's in the Tower District, North Tower District, in Fresno High area. It's a really cute home. It's actually got 2 dwellings on one lot. The back unit is kind of a 1-bedroom, 1-bath studio, not really a studio, but more like an apartment setup, standalone. And then the main building is a 2-bed, 1-bath, really nicely updated, new roof, new AC. It is perfect.
Yeah, the 9s. I mean, he did everything.
Absolutely. This is for $225 firm. We also have our mobile home still in the Woods Mobile Home Park in Clovis, number 84, still available. We have had an uptick in activity lately. I think that as things are opening up a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh, and the owner there, so they renovated this home. He told me just the other day, any buyer, if he's going to put granite in the kitchen, right?
Cool.
He has nice wood countertops. They're all right, but he's ready to put granite in. So if you were to make an offer before he does it, he will probably be willing to work with you up to X amount of dollars and let you pick your granite, then he pick his granite. Now he has
Nice.
great taste, but that's a great feature. So if
Very
you're thinking
cool.
about it, this is a great time to go see that thing, and know that you might have a chance to pick your own granite. Kind of cool thing. So that being said, that's it for today, people. Thanks for watching. Remember, you can get a hold of us, kfhomesales@gmail.com. Please see our website at KF Home Sales, and 559-235-9022. Give us a call. Let's get those 5 listings done and get those 5 free home inspections done.
Sounds great.